Hello beautiful people, let's get started with today's look. I started off with applying my Beauty Bakery Wake and Bake Face Oil. Honestly, I don't really use this product that much. I feel like it gives the skin a luminous glow but wasn't really doing much to improve my makeup, but if you guys want to try it, I'm just letting you know I've used it. For the face, I used the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and for the eyes, the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Original. Today we're starting off with the Be Perfect Cosmetics Carnival XL Pro Palette with Stacey Marie, and we're going to be dipping into the shade Funky. You see this upper portion of the lid? I'm going to be avoiding that area right now because I really want to create this cat eye look, so instead I'm starting right here from like the middle of the crease and focusing on building up that shade, just flaring the eyeshadow out. Starting at the corner of the lid, just building up that shade right there. Of course, like I said before, just focusing on creating that wing shape, making sure that I elongate the outer portion of the lid and really just lift the outer corner of the eye up. Notice how I sticked to this cat eye like shape. Right here, the inner portion and kind of like that upper halfway of the crease is open, and then right here where the middle of the crease is just wings out and lifts up to where the eyebrow is. So now I'm picking up this purple shade Wasted, so I'm using this to deepen up this look. I'm of course doing the same thing I did before, building it up on the outer portion of the lid, and then when it gets to the crease, just kind of placing it a little bit more thinner and closer to the lid space, making sure I mimic that shape that we initially put down. And just being super patient with building this shade up. Now I'm just dipping back into that pink shade Funky, and I'm using this to just bring that color back since the purple kind of made it fall into the background, if you will. So I'm just bringing that pink shade back, but also helping to diffuse the purple and blending it out. And now we're going back into that purple shade Wasted. So this is just to bring back the intensity, because I feel like with purple eyeshadows in general, after you blend out some shadow near it, it kind of gets lost. So I'm just bringing that purple back. Now I'm grabbing my ColourPop gel liner in the shade Prance. So I'm using this to prep for our eyeshadow that we're going to be putting on the lid. So I'm focusing on putting this on the inner 2/3 and just making sure I don't really go past that point, creating the crease shape first, and then from there I'm going to fill in the lid. And just making sure that I keep that angled shape when I'm filling in that base. Then I'm picking up this blue shade called Make Waves. I'm using a flat brush because I'm focusing more on a packing motion as opposed to swiping or anything. So I'm just being super careful by the inner tear duct and also by the outer portion of where that base ended, and just packing it on, really getting that intensity to stick on. Then I'm going to pick up the shade Mood, and I'm going to use this to also transition that blue shade and also add more depth to this look. This is another part where we're going to be winging it out, keeping that cat eye like lifted to the brow to God look. So I'm just going in with this bigger brush just to pack the color on, and then you'll see me go in with a detailed brush just to make sure that I keep that shape. Here I decided to bring it into the crease, so you guys are going to see me just using a super light hand, but building it up. I just want to make sure that I keep that depth and the, you know, just pretty much exaggerating that lid shade color, you know, just making it stand out the best that I can. After all that, we're going back to Wasted because, girl, where did you go? We lost you through the purple and the blue, and girl, we lost the purple. So we're going back in with a detail brush because I want this to be more of a packed on area of the purple. Like, I really want it to stand out, so that's why I'm using a detailed brush, so that the intensity is there and we can see that blended out on top of the deep blue that we just placed down. And now we're just going back into the pink shade Funky, and we're going to use this to bring that shade back, to blend out the purple and the blue, you know, just using a super light hand, making sure we're winging out that outer corner. Girl, this is one of those looks you gotta go back and forth and really just get that blend, you know, you gotta have a lot of patience with this. Now I'm just going in with a makeup remover wipe, and I'm just going to clean up the outer edge of this look. I am using my nail also underneath to just make sure that I get that sharp shape, and you know, just go at a steady pace, make sure you're getting that cut, you know, like make it sharp, girl, make it sharp. Now I'm going to pick up my pressed glitter. This is in the shade Fire from ColourPop. I'm going to be applying my ring, well, not my ring finger, I went in with the middle finger, oops. So I'm using my middle finger, and I'm just going to sparsely apply it to the lid. I don't want it to be super packed on, I just want, like, you know, a little bit of a dispersed gradient type of feel, so I'm only placing this on the blue part of our lid. The lighter blue, specifically. I'm going to be picking up my Crayon Case Sharp Me pen liner. This is in the black satin finish. So I'm just applying a thin line on top of my lash line. This is to prep for the lashes. We're not going to go too crazy with a wing liner or anything because the eyeshadow is doing what it's supposed to do. Then I just went back into that deep shade Mood and just winging out, like buffing out the outer portion of where I put down that liner because I don't want it to be like a harsh ending point. Now here we're moving on to the face. I'm just going in with my color corrector and applying this to all the areas where I have hyperpigmentation. With a damp beauty blender, so it's damp with water, I'm just going in and blending it out. To set the color corrector, I'm grabbing my KVD Locket powder in translucent. I'm just using a stipple brush. You can use whatever you want, guys. I'm just putting a super light layer on top because I don't want my color corrector to mix with my foundation when I put it on or alter the shade, so I'm just going to lightly set that area. Now I'm just grabbing my Juvia's Place foundation, I Am Magic foundation in the shade Tanzania. Girl, I always speak on this. This is a super full coverage foundation. So what I like to do is I like to put little dots all over the face, just make sure the product is all over where I need it to be, and then I'll blend it out because I don't want to go in with too much or with a heavy hand when it comes to this product. So I just put little dots all over my face, blend it out, and if I see that I need more coverage later, I'll add it, but I'd rather start light and build my way up as opposed to have too much and be stuck. Alright, you can wipe it off. You're not really stuck, but y'all get what I'm saying. So of course, just going in with a damp beauty blender, it's damp with water, and just blending everything out. For contour, I'm using my Fenty Beauty Matchsticks in the shade Espresso. And to highlight, I'm going in with my Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer in the shade 9. With my concealer, I've said this before in previous videos, I'm just going to say it again, I like to let my concealer dry down, so what I do is I focus on putting it in all the areas where I need it to be and just getting that coverage in the area. Drying or allowing it to dry down, I got this from Jackie Ina. So allowing your concealer to dry down allows you to get the most out of the coverage and just making sure that it really stands out. So because I want that coverage and I want to have those areas brighter and highlighted on my face, I like to just focus on placement first. This is just to put it where it needs to be, and then later on I just blend out the edges. So I waited around 9 minutes, and I'm going to start off first with blending out my contour. So I'm just using the side of my blender, beauty blender from before, and just making sure that I blend it out to the best of my ability. Then I'm blending out the concealer now, so you guys can see I'm just using the pointed area or pointed part of the beauty blender, focusing on just blending out the edges and getting it to be sitting where I need it to be sitting. Any time where I feel like I'm getting too much of an excess amount of product on, I will go in with a damp paper towel and just get the excess product off of the beauty blender, make sure that I'm not transferring product around on my face and I'm just blending out the edges. I will go in with the bottom part of the beauty blender, the area where I use to blend out the foundation. This helps with also diffusing the concealer more. For the contour area, I like to grab another damp beauty blender just to blend out that line so it's not as harsh, but it's still prominently there, but it's blended out, you know? For the nose contour, I just go in with a smaller beauty blender, just focusing on softening out those harsh edges of the contour and just blending it out, making sure it's there, but it's blended. To set my highlighted areas, I'm grabbing my KVD translucent locket powder and also my Crayon Case chalk dust in the shade N. So I like to mix these two to highlight, well, to set my highlight. The reason why I mix them is because the yellow is a little bit too yellow, so the white balances it out, gives it more of a not so yellow look. And then also I just like the way that the translucent powder of KVD is, you know, milled is the right word. Is that the right word? Milled or whatever? Like the way that the product actually, like the consistency of it. So I like to just mix those two. It makes a perfect blend. I get the color I need, I get the payoff that I need, and I just go in with a damp beauty blender and I press it into the skin on all the highlighted areas. To set everywhere else, I'm going in with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark Deep. So when I apply this, I use my large kabuki brush and I'm just pressing this into the skin. The only area where you'll see me actually using like a buffing motion is on the bottom portion of my face, so right here, and then also when I'm going around my edges, because those are areas where I want it to be more diffuse. But for everywhere else on my face, I do a pressing motion because I don't want to be moving stuff around. I want it to be where it is, so I just use a pressing motion, and anywhere else where I need the product diffuse, I'll buff that out. And then for the nose contour, I just go in with a like bigger blending eyeshadow brush just to make sure that it's specifically concentrated on the nose contour and where I need it to be. I'm just going in with my setting spray. I'm going to spray it, then I'm going to fan off for a little, and then I'll go in with my beauty blender and press everything into the skin. Back to the eyes, I'm grabbing my MAC Smolder Eye Kohl. I'm going to be applying this onto the waterline. I'm going to be picking up the shade Lights Out in the Stacey Marie palette. So I'm just doing this, I'm packing that shade onto the waterline. So applying eyeshadow I found onto the waterline whenever you're putting a gel or whatever liner, it helps to keep it stay there if like you get watery eyes throughout the day. So I like to do that, and then I buffed it out like a little bit with the shade Mood. So I'm trying to keep this as close as possible to the lower lash line because I really want that wing to stand out. So just going in with a smudge brush and, you know, connecting it to the upper portion of the lid, the eyeshadow, and getting it to be where I need it to be. Then I'm going to be picking up the shade Shuffle, so I'm just grabbing the shade because it's close to my complexion, and I'm using it to diffuse out the lower lash line so it doesn't look so much like a harsh blend, but it kind of transitions a little bit smoother into the skin. I'm going to be picking up the shade Pink Me, so I picked the shade up on my brush. I'm just applying setting spray onto the eyeshadow, and I'm just going to be packing that into the inner corner or inner tear duct. I'm doing this, or I'm wetting the brush because I really want the most intensity from this eyeshadow, so I'm making sure it does what it needs to do. And whenever I get to like straying a little bit more from the inner tear duct, I use a little bit of a lighter hand. So this is a thing where you want to pay attention to your pressure on your hand to help it to be intense where you need it to be and diffuse a little bit more in the other areas. And now I'm just going with my lashes. This is in the style Just Jess from Super Baddie Kawaii. I'm just applying it to see where I want it to be sitting on the lash line. Then from there, I'm going to remove it. I applied my lash glue, and now I'm just putting the lashes on. So I focused first on applying it right in the center, like the center of the lash band, applying that to the eye. And then from there, I'll focus on the outer portion of the lash and just, you know, press together my eyelash, my natural lashes with the eyelash, just making sure that the lash band is pressed down as much as possible to the skin and it's where it needs to be. Then after that, I go in with my Crankcase black eyeliner from before. So I like to apply eyeliner on top of the lash glue because sometimes it can leave like a shiny finish, and I don't want that. So I'm just making sure that the lash is covered, like the lash glue, once it dries down, so that it blends into the eye look. Just grabbing the shade Mood again and just buffing out the outer portion. Since I applied eyeliner again, I just want it to be smoothly blended out on the outer corner of the lid. Now you guys are just seeing me do the same thing for the other eye, so I'm going in, applying my lash glue. This is how much lash glue I put on. Of course, it's by preference, do whatever works best for you. Then applying it. Y'all know the drill. Y'all heard me. Y'all know what I do. Just there it is. Y'all seen it. Now I'm just grabbing my Sugar Pill Orange Capsule palette and I'm picking up this blush shade right here, Retrograde, and I'm going to be applying it to my cheeks. Next, I'm grabbing my colored Raine Power Collection, the Highlight Blush Duo in Damage Control. So this is a highlight we're going to be using, and I'm going to be applying it to my nose, my brow bone, and the highest points of my cheek. So for my nose contour, for my nose highlight, I like to apply like an exclamation point. So on the nose, on the tip of the nose, I do kind of like an upside down triangle, and then for the other part, I just highlight it on the bridge of my nose. For lip liner, I'm going to be going in with my Melt Cosmetics in the shade Edible. I'm going to be using my Sugar Pill liquid lipstick in the shade Duchess. So what I like to do is we're going to be blotting away with this lip today, so I'm just using this, blotting it out to make sure that it blends with the lip liner to the best that I can get it to blend out. Then I'm grabbing my lip gloss from Sugar Pill as well, and this is in the shade Flicker, so I'm just applying this to the lips and blotting. You're going to see me blotting a lot because I need that blend. I need that blend. And because I felt like the lip liner started to get a little bit too lost, I just went back in and applied more. And we're just finishing off with our setting spray again, just letting it sit on the skin for a little as we fan, and then taking my beauty blender and pressing everything into the skin. And here is a completed look. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye guys.